at the national and shit. That's why I'm going to one tomorrow. Oops, got it. I almost hit leave meeting. Fuck. That's why I'm not going. I know I would have sucked, but fucking I'm not. I'm going to Lexington because those dudes there, if they want money, they're going to the national and shit. Oops, I just want to mute that. Okay, but yeah, they're gonna have to pony up. All right, let me see here. I gotta put Discord in because he just set up the trade night. I gotta go over it with him.
Oh, on Discord?
Yeah, well, he set up the server piece too, the channels.
Nice.
Net message. All right, now I gotta go to edit. That's the fun part. Copy. There's that. I have to put the thumbnail in. Oh, this is so painful doing it this way every time.
So I got a nice MILF hunter if anybody wants to trade for him.
Oh, there's the tags. Jeez, oh man. Let's recommend. Where the hell do I have tags at? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, everyone's video for the national. I keep saying, I keep hearing everybody saying the Wi-Fi sucks here, the internet sucks here. I was like, well,
yeah. That's enough tags. Save this one. Ah, I have to go wait for this to save. Do. Okay, just save. Now the next part. That won't pop up anytime. Change is saved. Last thing is so slow when you got to do it this way. Good, everybody. As soon as this, I gotta go through and edit the whole video thing. As soon as it's done here, I'll pop over. It's just taking forever.
It shouldn't be a long night. Everyone's at the, well, most of the people are at the national.
Some are. All right, that did save. Okay, just didn't tell me that. I missed the pop.
Not me. I'll be trying to go next year.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Airbnb somewhere up there. About 4 or 5 of us, old motherfuckers. So if we don't have the young people wanting to have freaking strippers and blow and whatever else is cool nowadays. There we go.
No, I think me and the wife will get our own room.
You're what?
Me and the wife will get our own room. She'll be going.
Oh,
she wants to go.
It's gonna be like 4 or 5 of us to go and get an Airbnb. I'm gonna drive up. I think Wednesday, either Tuesday. I haven't decided yet, but either Tuesday, I'll leave out like around 10 in the morning. Get up there at night and then go in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, drive back Monday. But
hey,
it looks Looks like it'll be about 500 a night for an Airbnb. So if you get 5 people, it's $100 a night, which is way cheaper than any freaking hotel. We could just Uber there. So I'm not going to drive, not
Yeah.
up there back and forth. But a couple of the Airbnbs I found are like 3 miles from the center and stuff. So it ain't bad for an Uber or taxi, whatever way. Hotels
Yeah.
I looked at were already at like 180, 200 a pop that are close. They'd actually have shuttles to take you there.
Yeah, me and the wife will get her own room. She wants to go, but she wants her own room. I'm like, all right, we'll get her own room.
Oh, Granddad, I wouldn't have went to Atlantic City to begin with. Everybody kept on trying to get me to go because I'm close in a way, closer than like, I don't know, a lot of the other shows. I mean, either way, it was still going to be a few hours of a drive, but I was like, no, Atlantic City sucked. It's a bad venue spot. And what do I see everybody complaining about? Parking, internet, everything across the board. Dealers being too high and looking like a show off my collection instead of selling. I just laughed because most of it that's going on, it was all predictable. I mean, I knew it was going to be a big room. It's not like the Rosemont to where it's kind of like in different little sections in a way. I don't know how you want to say, like there's different rooms or whatever they called it last time. But the venue is just bad because everybody just wants to go gamble. Even with all these trade nights and stuff, I guarantee you people are still hitting them slots and tables.
To have a better shot to slots and tables than trade night.
I don't know. The one trade night that a buddy of mine went to, because he lives in Jersey, so it's not a far drive for him.
Mhm.
I can't remember what it is. It's really close. He was telling me, I think it was Wednesday night's trade night. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday night. I'm trying to picture because I had a back thing that day. Yeah, because I was kind of loopy. I think it was Wednesday night. But anyhow, he said it was not organized at all in this big old room. People were like sitting on the floors and trading and all kind of other stuff. And he said it was just bad across the board. What's up, Mr. Bob? I just happened to see your message above Nightbot. But
the GMA and TGT were flowing that night.
They got noticed there. I know that. The amount of messages I got from the National were insane. I had to turn my phone off because Wednesday I had a back procedure. I couldn't do shit on Thursday, so I took it off. So today was my first day back to work. Really, I only worked 2 days this week, but it was just one of those things to where getting the messages and reading what everybody's saying. And I'm like, I told you all, Atlantic City is a horrible, horrible spot. And the only reason it's there is because that place could commit to multi-years of being there. I think they want like 3 events per contract or something stupid like that. And the guy that now runs National, nothing against him, he's just like dead set on like the East Coast and stuff. Honestly, the National should be once a year. I got that. But we used to have the expos back in the day that were quarterly, and they used to rotate between Canada and US. Well, I got the inner thing now of traveling across the borders, and that's a pain in the ass, COVID, blah, blah, blah. But if you took what they used to do with quarterly at the expos and you started off and just went, one per 4 each of the time zones, you'd be fine. You launch one in California, maybe then you do Nevada or Colorado, something like that. Then you shift over to the next batch across the board. You find somewhere there, and then you do Tampa or something like that, or I don't know. Maybe maybe goes California to Dallas. I don't know.
See, they should have. To me, I think they should have 2 nationals a year. One East Coast, one West Coast.
It's too much setup. It's too much on them. They can't.
I understand that, but if they were smart, they would try to get some kind of contract with Vegas or Los Angeles.
Vegas is the home of the Mint collectible. It has been for a long, long time. And it's also, I believe, where they do the it's the draft one. I forget what the hell they call it up there. But that's their thing that they do up there. So it's not Vegas isn't going to keep getting. And
LA
honestly,
or Frisco
to hold a national that big in Vegas is going to be just as bad as Atlantic City because you have to worry about parking and everything else. Like I was talking to the guy that does the one up in Indy. So he's running again in October. I told him I might come up to it. It's just October and March are 2 bad months for shows that I can't really touch. At least setting up and then driving that far is just kind of out there. But I think he said the next one's next July. And I told him I'll definitely set up for it, but in January, I'm going to put in for my room so they don't heist the prices up. Well, I guess the cops found out about them hotels. Like they were regularly like $119 a night, jacked them up to $189, $229 a night because of it. And they were pissed. I guess it's some kind of illegal crap you're not supposed to do. So this time there's going to be something with the city on those hotels about doing that. And if it comes true, hey, so be it. But I told them I'll set up at the next one up in there in July next year. Because it's only a 2-day show. Yep. I mean, realistically, I get up there Thursday, chill out for the night. Friday, you're like a 3-hour sub. I think it's like 8 to 11. You pull up next to the building, park your car there and all that. And then, just like any other show, it's over the weekend. You can either leave your shit there or not. I take my cards. I'm not one of the people who bring the body bag with me and lock it up and stuff. But, yeah, I mean... But the only thing bad about if I do his show in July, it was July. I told him he's going to do it beginning of July because the closer you get to that national date, the worse it is for people because they want to hold their stuff because they want it for there. If he would push that show earlier, like middle of June, that's perfect. Maybe it was June, and he was talking about doing one in July. I can't remember. But anyhow, if you do it in June, you're fine. But you just got to compete against all the other big shows. And at the same time frame, you got to hope all your little content creator guys that you had out there originally come back out and push it all.
Now, from your experience of doing more shows than me, because I've only been to a couple really, do you think you're going to get better deals at smaller shows or are you going to get better deals at the national?
Neither. I think it depends on the person you walk up on. How bad do they want to make money that day and sell? Do they need the money? Do they need to move their product? Here's an example. So the show at Indy, a guy pulled the Luca, I think it was Flawless or NT. I can't remember which one it was, but it was Logo Man Autograph 101. Won $300,000 for it. Guy flies in from some unknown place and he brought $270,000 cash. The guy wouldn't take it. I'm like, realistically, he thinks he's going to get $300K for it. Well, you think it's going to be the triple LeBron Logo Man? It's valued $6 million. It barely fetches $2 million.
I would have taken the 2020. I would have taken the 270 and.
So Ziggy. But no, I mean that's just the funny part. He had big spenders come up there because the idea was he has an idea what I have and what I want to do. And he told me if I promise to bring it, and I'm not, he quoted an asshole on my prices like that. I said 10%, I'd be fine because an auction house, even if I will and deal, they're going to at least get 10% out of me.
Yeah.
If I do eBay, I'm 11%. Then I got all the other crap and hassle with it. Okay, got it. My slabs is 1% because it's graded, but I still got to sell it lower than eBay. Because nobody's going to pay some kind of far out fetched price on to some stuff, depending on what you have. So I told myself, think about it. I said, I'd rather take my Jordans to Chicago, nothing personal, but I can get the money there. But he said he could bring some big Jordan collectors down there dying for some of the stuff that I have. I don't know. It really comes down to, do I want to part with it yet or not? I told him that's where it comes. I said, now, like my Giannis rookie autos and Kobe's and stuff like that, I said I do want to get rid of. I just been really lollygagging unless somebody hits me up and wants them, and then I'm just in the mood that day to sell it. I told them honestly, the stuff at my house is always for sale, but stuff locked up, a little bit harder to pry me away from, just limited.
Yeah, well, if I do go to the national next year, I'll be a buyer, definitely. I'm gonna be very, very picky on what the hell I grab.
It's
Very.
just one of those things. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand vintage, okay? They think that they're going to get vintage at like pennies on a dollar. You're not. Certain ones you
Mm-mm.
will. Now, if I'm holding a rare Mantle, Hank Aaron, Mays, Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, something like that with a decent grade. Now, see, the grade don't really matter. It's somebody's opinion, okay? But if that card looks really good for that grade, especially like when you start hitting the 48s and stuff like that, to the coloring, if that coloring is really good and it has eye appeal and say it's like a 2.5, and then a guy has like a PSA 1.5 or something, or PSA 4 versus a PSA 3.5, that 3.5 that has better color and better centering might be a better appeal than the other one. But
Yep.
people think, okay, I'm selling it for, I don't know, 30,000 or whatever it is that they're going to get for 25. Those old dudes ain't going to move that stuff at all.
I've come to learn vintage is more. The grade does help, but the grades are going to be hard no matter what with vintage. I've learned more with vintage. It's more eye appeal.
It always
Coloring.
has been. The
Yeah.
grade is all there. That's a PSA set registry thing.
Yeah, I am. But no, I've gotten into vintage last couple months. I've been learning a little bit more on it. I'm learning that coloring, presentation, just the way eye appeal is what makes the card more worth. The back, the front, you're gonna. It's vintage. You're gonna have wear and tear. The corners aren't always gonna be great and everything like that. But I just noticed that the better eye appeal, the better.
Granddad, I think they banned a few people for doing that. Not my size, but eBay. I heard it in a post a long time ago. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. I made my username on eBay. So if they search, they find me on Instagram and I say it's for selling my slabs. That's what I tell them that way, just so I don't have to play the game between all that stuff. But yeah, I do. I post my stuff high on eBay all the time. The stuff is bigger and more rare. Let people make offers. If I like what they offer, I'll take it. If not, hey, I got no problem holding it. Might get buried with me one day. I don't know.
Like I got some. I picked up some old, very old vintage. Only reason why I picked it up because had similar to my last name. You don't see my last name very often in cards. I got some old 206s.
Well, see, you got to remember the word vintage, then you have pre war, you have tobacco cards. So when you're talking that old stuff, a person that comes up to me asking me for vintage and they're looking at my freaking tobacco cards, I know they don't know much on the stuff. And they're just there basically to try to make money. I just won't even mess with them that much. I'll be like, no, that's my price. Because anybody knows tobacco cards knows the condition, but you start going to rarity, to the back of it, the color of it, all kind of stuff comes into play. And a lot of good people don't know that. Stuff just ain't passing down to.
See, this one I can probably see getting a 2 on it. Only reason why the front, everything looks nice. It's not centered at all, of course. Corners around it, it's vintage, but it does have the tobacco stains on the back here. And this one is got a nice little crease on it. But when it comes to this stuff, you're not good luck finding it in good shape. But if I was able to get a 2 on these, I'm happy.
Oh no, it's not an easy play at all, Ziggy. I know that. It's taken me many, many years because when I was younger, probably like 16, 17, 18, I would go out there and I see all the tobacco cards and stuff, and I always wanted them and I'd buy them, for a couple bucks a piece. You'd get like $100 worth. Guy would be like, oh, $70, $80, whatever. I'd take them. I still have them all. I graded some through time, but I didn't know about like the different backs to it and stuff. And I think a lot of people back then really, stuff was a lot cheaper, but it's, you got to put a lot of time, a lot of research into it. Heck, I just found, I forget what it was, 61s, but they have the perforated edges to it. I forget the name of it.
The decos?
What?
The decals?
No.
Oh.
These were like trifolds that you tore apart, almost like the old basketball Jordan, the Bird Johnson rookie. But these here, I forget what they were called.
Oh, gotcha.
Because at first I thought they were play ball cards or something. I looked at the edges and the guy told me, but they're a cool card. They sell real cheap, but they grade real hard too. I think, it's just stuff like that you come across. And especially when you start going into pre-war, non-sports and all that, oh dear gosh, there's everything out there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have so much knowledge. And the sad part is that knowledge is going to die with these older guys who live through it, understand it, know it, because a lot of the younger people out there just don't care. And if they are, they're in it for the flip. They don't understand it. Heck, there was a person on Whatnot. It was last night or night before. How happy last night I think I was on it. I don't think I was on it while I came out of anesthesia. I might have been. I don't know. But anyhow, they had some 63 Fleer cards on there. Man, they were sharp. Now I know those also grade easier, so I picked some of them up. I picked some 53 Topses up. And I just started looking at it. Then they started hashing out like 68 Tops PSA 9s. And I'm like, whoa, PSA 9, 68 Tops? You'd be surprised. Those are only selling the commons like a nobody's for like 30, 40 bucks. I was getting them for $7, $8 a card. $7, $8 a card. I'm like, this is just going to go in the box, Eventually next year for when I retool it all again for the shows. I'll probably be up to 2 tables, 4 display cases. It's just what you want to do with it all. That's like tomorrow when I go there. I know one guy will have vintage. He always does. He has a box that's 50% off. Catches, when you take that 50% off, that's what it's selling for on eBay. And the conditions aren't great onto it. I mean, you just have to dig and dig and dig. Like that old guy come walking by with that binder last weekend. And I looked at it and I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm selling. So I said, what's in your binder? You got any Nolan Ryans? He did. He had that 74 Tops. I think it was strikeout leader 73, one of the two. And I started looking through and I found that Hank Aaron had the writing on the back, 73 Tops, and a couple other nice vintage cards that were out there. And I picked them up. I mean, I was like, how much you want for them? He goes, $5 for that, 10 on that. I'm like, you sure? I said, I'm not looking them up. I'm just going to grab them, because I know normally somebody's going to be trying to get $50 for a card raw that's worth like $10 on eBay. Well, I just took them all from them.
I mean, I would love to get a bunch. I would love to get a bunch of these old footballs that I have graded, but the problem is the price get graded.
Yeah, but you gotta look. Once you grade it, and it comes back a PSA 2 or 3. Is it really worth the amount that you've spent to grade it? Half of them are like freaking $10, $15 cards. I looked at stuff I had like that Bart Stars, Johnny Unitas, Gale Sayers, and they were all like 67s. I don't know, 65s through 72 or 73s. It just wasn't really worth it. I mean, the Jack Lambert rookie I picked up, I think it was 76 or 77 Tops. I forget offhand, but for nostalgic purposes, I put it in for $18. I'm like, it gets a 5, gets a 5. I'll just keep it. I don't care.
I mean, I got a nice old Paul Horning, Jim Taylor, just, Chuck Bednarik, Al Carmichael. I have a bunch of old vintage football.
My thing is, I'm wondering what PSA is going to do for the next special, because that was just a national special they just launched out. So, and that was kind of like their quarterly special type deal, which in reality should have ran through into August, because it's September. July, August, September, the way the quarters run. So I don't know if they're going to push anything else out after or not, or if they're just going to try to grade that stuff and then start worrying in October again.
I can see them doing an Albert Pujols special with him retiring.
Maybe next year, not this year.
Oh, he retires this year. So they could have the next quarterly special be
but
Pujols.
if he retires in October, they won't run that until January, or they'll wait till it's Hall of Fame time, something like that. I mean, this isn't Derek Jeter or nothing like that. Pujols, when he left the Cardinals, really didn't have a stellar career. So,
well, you got Pujols and Miggy Cabrera, both Hall of Famers retiring this year, so I can see them doing something like that. Or they could do a Hall of Fame class because that won't get announced until January.
I don't see it, them doing it.
I don't know.
If they're going to do anything, it'll be like a Kobe special, LeBron. It's going to be big names, big. They're not going to do like, oh, let's do an Ohtani special. He hits free agency, or something like that there. Then again, they might be like, hey, 60s football, $15 a card. I don't know.
Well, if it's 60s and under, I guess quite a bit. Man, some of these are so mingled.
Anybody else go to the National? Because I'm telling you, man, that's why I didn't go. Too many issues with too many things down there.
Well, good luck trying to do any kind of videos there.
You can still record, you just can't go live or upload.
Yeah.
It's too choppy. Look at Whatnot trying to stream from there. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Whatnot's doing, if they're doing like 7 or 8 people at a time down there trying to stream. I mean, the thing was, when I was going to go to, was it Cleveland? I think it was a Cleveland one a while back. Anyhow, I actually was going to go through AT&T, and they had a device that I would just be like my own internet drawing off the tower. Nobody else could tap it type deal. And it was expensive back then. I want to say for a month, it was like $130. I'm like, I only need it for 1 month. Can I get it for a month and cancel it? She's like, sure. And I was going to do it at one time, because if you were going there breaking, you can't have that crap going on, even though you'd have the back recording it for your proof of, something stops or whatever. I was just like, mm. And whatever it was that year, I'm so glad that they cut me from being there for a full week. They're like, we can give you a day or two. And I'm like, I forget you. I was pissed at GTS at that time frame. I ain't coming there for that. Gave my hotel room away and everything.
I heard people are having problems being able to comp because the internet's so bad.
The what?
They can't comp their cards.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, if you have bad internet, they can't do it on. They don't know the prices of stuff. I mean, to me, if you're drawing it off their Wi-Fi, that's the first thing wrong. Then you got to figure all them people there, whether you have AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, you're all pulling off the same exact thing there. My thing, I probably would have because I have a thing through Xfinity. If they had a tower near there, I probably would have went through Xfinity for my Wi-Fi and seen if that would have helped. But no, I mean, I knew it was going to be issues like that. They were not prepared for that, because think about this. A lot of those machines run off the internet because they're linked.
So were the gambling machines.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. The machines for casinos.
Yeah, all the casinos are all that, because they're all tapped into different ones. Because the casinos here, the jackpots.
Yeah, the big jackpots.
It's linked to Vegas.
Yeah,
it's linked there. It's linked everywhere. So they gotta have connection to. Someone hits it here, it's going to reset there. It's going to reset there.
See, with those jackpots, they're run 2 different ways. Either one, whenever that programmer does it, it's one big jackpot for whoever runs the game. Then you have ones that are just linked together for that casino, or the casino plus, like if it's like say like Caesars owns like 4 other chains out there. All those will all be on the same team, so it can push up the jackpot big and make people want to play. Yeah, no, I looked at that slot stuff. I'm like, man, I knew it right off the bat. Venue was bad. I heard about the trade night. I had a couple pictures sent to my phone. I wouldn't post them, but
you pretty much got to do comps of your, like, people are trying to comp cards at the show to, say, oh, the last comp was this. I'd be like, Internet's down. Last time I comped this was the day before the show, and that's the price I'm sticking to. That's all you
If
can
I
really
was a
say.
dealer, I'd have had all my stuff priced the day before. Regardless of what sales go on between A and B, unless the dude dies, signs some big new contract, something crazy to where jacks up prices, don't look it up. You know, all these guys, that's the flippers. They go around, they look at the whole thing, and they're like, oh, I need to see comps on this and this and this and this and this to try to figure this all out. If you don't know from actively doing it, sorry, you're lost onto that stuff. And that's the way it's always going to be. I can't tell, even these little shows that I set up at, I can't tell you how many people will pull a phone out there and just start running down my whole showcase. Now, there's a couple guys, and they come up there, they'll take my word as bond onto it. And I'll be like, hey, you're not going to find a comp there. You're going to have to go on to one of these things because of when it last sold. And, you know, I could say it was during the hype. It was, you know, 6 months ago or 7 months ago during the slide, whatever, you know, and stuff like that to give them a price where I'm at onto it and why I came up with it. They could agree or not. But I mean, it's bad when you have, you know, 60 freaking different parallels of a card and they're comping every single one trying to figure it out because they don't know. You can't know. I mean, back in the day when you only had like 5 or 6 products being released a year, or even in the mid 90s, we'll say 12 to 15, you knew all the prices because you studied that price guide nonstop. Yeah. And it wasn't changing hourly, daily, whatever you want to call it. Now, with the prices changing, everybody using the word eBay comps, half people don't even know how to check to see if that payment went through. They don't even know how to look to see what the best offer was onto it. It's
well, just like that honeycomb I'm getting back. There is no sales of it.
No, but you could price it based off of other ones out there.
True. That's what I'm saying. But there's no, if someone says, well, there's
what do you think the value of that card is?
I'm saying about $250.
You're way over. I can tell you that now. And here's my example. How much did Joe Montana honeycomb sell for?
I didn't look at that one.
120.
A PSA 10?
How much did Drew Brees sell for?
A PSA 10 one?
Yep, all PSA 10s. I know this just because I see them pop up from time to time, the honeycombs. About $200. Crap, I just lost the other running back in my head.
Barry Sanders?
No, ain't Barry Sanders.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. PSA 10 makes no sense, sold for $200. But if you go look, it wasn't paid for. Joe Montana was paid for. Jerry Rice one sold for, I think it was $160. So Emmitt Smith, do you put him up there with Montana and Rice? You put him below it.
Pretty much right there with him. I'll put about $150 then.
I would say he's Brown Montana about $120. Because here's the catch. When you start looking at stuff like that there, then you got to start looking at Genesis. How much does Genesis sell for between each of them? Is there a price difference between those? Everything else. You can find a comp. You just got to do a lot of work, a lot of background onto it. 250, way high. I can tell you that right off the bat. And the only reason, like I said, is because I don't even know the cards. I just know what sells because I see it pop up on my feeds or whatever it may be offhand. And a lot of times I'll say, I'm like, this sells for this amount. And I'll look at there'll be an eBay comp that'll be close to it. And I'll go Terapeak it, make sure it was paid for. And there it is. So a lot of work's got to go into that stuff.
Which is surprising considering the honeycombs are rarer than the Genesis, I feel.
They came in retail. That's why they dropped so much. Just like Kabooms and everything else, they came out in retail. They dropped in price. This ain't the old stuff. You got to go with newer stuff. Old stuff was actually one per case. Now I think they're like 3 or 4 a case. You see them popping. Hobby.
That's why that's when we're talking about that optic. I'm like, I'm afraid how many downtown they're going to be.
I know there's gold and black Pandora plus the regular and the 101. I mean, are they nice looking cards? They are. I know the guy that hit the Burrow, the black Pandora, he threw that thing on eBay. Smartest thing he did. I think it sold for $4 or $5 grand. $4 or $5 grand, not even his rookie. Smart for him.
The T-Law would be at least 8 or 9.
It might be 6 or 7. That they are. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I sit there and not to be like the comp Nazi out there and stuff, but I'll get guys come to my table and they'll bring me stuff and they'll be like, well, it's around here last few sales. As soon as I look it up, they're so far off. These dudes have no idea how to comp cards. And I hate using the word comp because it's actually the value of the card, but everybody likes using the word comp monster. And then I'll look and I'll be like, dude, this card wasn't even paid for it. You're trying to the last three sales of it. I'm like, it's by the same person. How are you telling me it's worth this amount? Last sale was right here and way lower. Somebody's trying to push that up.
Hello, Teddy.
Oh no, it's Teddy. He's at Atlantic City right now, hanging out.
Oh, hey, Teddy. Teddy, did you see your boyfriend?
Teddy, I'll tell you what, if you ever meet Joey, punch him in the mouth for saying that. I allow you. I would, don't even punch him in the mouth. Punch him right in the nose, right where it makes you cry. Even though you're not crying, you have tears.
He's over there buying Star Jordan PSA 8s, man.
He's a fool. I saw the card on Craigslist. Or Facebook Marketplace. There's another one. They're all over the place, man. I'll tell you, I laugh at these dudes so much. And you get to a point to where in the beginning it's kind of fun. But after you're there at a show set up for 2 or 3 hours, it just gets old. And I'm just like, no, not even close. And they're like, well, this guy offered me this price. I said, well, I'd go sell it to him because I'm not even close to paying you for that. And what's funny is they'll come back at the end of the show. Will you still pay this? No, that was my price then. I'm now at this.
Oh, your buddy Jeff Wilson, Teddy. He's on doing his videos. He's doing some real damage control. It's funny. He's doing trades with kids and stuff like that because he's, trying to be the nice guy and take pictures with kids and everything like that. But it sure is funny. You're not showing me none of your trades with grown men.
Tax purposes, tax fraud. I don't know. Should say that. Next thing you know, I'll probably get a letter saying.
Well, I don't know because he bought a Jordan for $100,000. He bought a Babe Ruth for $16,000. He even showed the cash on screen and the PayPal.
PayPal, Venmo? You sure it's not Venmo? He likes to use Venmo a lot.
And then he paid for the Jordan. He's like, wire transfer. He did all this on camera. I'm like,
wire transfers through Zelle normally.
I'm just like, yeah, you better hope they don't see that. I would not show the exchange on camera.
I wouldn't be classed around if he opened up a suitcase full of money and he paid, what'd you say, 16,000 or something for
He paid 16 for a Babe Ruth Gouty. I guess those the ones that had the 4 in it. He had 2 of the 4. He's looking for the other 2. One guy had one for 15, one for 17. He bought the one for 17 for 16. He paid half cash, half that. What did Teddy say?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I showed comps off of Amazon and got my little label printer here for the same price. They wanted 300. I could buy it on Amazon for 100, and they gave it to me for it. I ain't gonna lie. I've done that, but dang, you went with milk. I think Walmart matches the prices still. I couldn't.
They do. I saw in the Discord Hobby Collective say they had tons of Prism blasters still on Target.
I know. I kept looking all day. They were still there. They were there for hours.
That just lets you know how much they made. That's insane. So stay away.
I ain't touching it.
Nope, stay away. Plus, I don't like the class. There's only 2 guys in this whole basketball class from last year that I like. Mobley and Scotty Barnes. That's it.
Hey, Cunningham will do well over time.
I do like Franz Wagner though. He's probably third on my list, but I do like Mobley and I do like Scotty Barnes. Those are probably the three.
So the issue is every class they're trying to pick out the next Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just that we had some hot classes for a while, and so everybody was all big on it. Now it's kind of like mediocre again, and people aren't used to that.
I'm kind of curious how this year's football is going to be because the only big names are going to be what? I mean, there wasn't really big. It wasn't a strong quarterback class. Chris.
I can't help it. I just look over and read it, and I'm like,
so Petco and Chewy wouldn't match price with Chewy?
no, it's their own website prices. So the website might say $8.99, and in the store it's $10.99. He's like, hey, your website says this. They won't even match their own price.
I have a feeling this year's, like I said, football class, that's going to be rough.
Oh, man, they're already making Pickett. I knew it, to be the freaking filler team. I won't get in it. If I can't buy the Steelers outright and the price they want for the Steelers is stupid right now, I'm like, you know what? I'll just buy a Pickett auto.
Yeah. I won't go for Steelers, but I might be going for Falcons, though.
Philly mama. I don't know.
Only reason why is because you got Mariota starting for the Falcons. We'll see how long that lasts because backup is going to be that rookie Ritter.
No strip clubs for me. That would be something. You got to start hearing the little, the bounce chicka wow wow music and stuff, but yet you can't see behind me because the green screen and you just see some girl walk by half naked. Oh, that would be great on YouTube.
Freaking Teddy.
No, that's why I said this year's football class should be something to where it's cheap and you should be able to invest into guys long term, but it's not. I guarantee you, even if these guys get a little bit of playing time, we'll just say one of them's mediocre at a quarterback start. They're still going to want $1,000 a prison box.
This class was a very wide receiver driven class too. So there's going to be a lot of receivers are going to get a lot of love. You might find the next Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. You just don't know which one. Because the last two drafts, there has been a stud receiver, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. This year, there could be, because there was, I think, 6 or 7 taken in the first round? 8
in the first round. Because
there was a lot.
There's no way Select is going to, I could just see Select XRC.
Oh, God.
8 wide receivers, 3 quarterbacks, 15 defensemen, a couple running backs, maybe if you're lucky. Meanwhile, like they were all drafted 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounders. I mean, it's horrible.
Well, I will go by one Walker for my Jaguars being the first pick. I'll go buy one nice auto of his, and that's it. I do for every first rounder for my team. I buy one.
Go out and buy an NT one when it comes out this year. Flawless. Go all out.
Not for a defensive player.
Be cheap.
No, it won't. It won't be cheap. They'll be like, he's the number 1 pick overall. It's blah, 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 blah. You know that.
Go back in time and look at them all that got drafted up in the top.
Hutchinson will probably go more for him. Well, he'll probably be the highest one, being number 2 for the Lions.
Oh yeah. We already had kickers. Remember the kicker market? Yeah, next is gonna be defense, coach cards, mascot cards. Heck, let's bring back the cheerleader cards.
We already had the coach boom. Remember Belichick and all those guys? We already had the coach boom.
No, we really have a real good coach boom yet. It was the cheerleader ones that they used to have called bench warmers. The cheerleader version.
Oh yeah. God.
I can't remember if they're Playboy or Penthouse trading cards I have. I got about 100, 150 of them laying in a box somewhere. They're older, way older.
Probably stuck together.
Honestly, I can't remember where I picked them up at.
Julio Jones will only play 4 games this year. Mark my word. Julio Jones signing with the Buccaneers was just him trying to get a ring if he can. He will play 4 games and he will be hurt the rest of the time. The guy can't stay healthy no more. As much as I hate to say it, I am a big Julio Jones fan. He can't stay healthy. Granted, he doesn't. A lot of the work doesn't have to be done with him because they still got Godwin and Evans, but can't stay healthy.
No, they'll think of something Teddy to come out with this year. Watch. I don't know if they'll be real high on defensive guys because I could sit there and think through the years. Khalil Mack, high draft pick, all these guys who are top 3 or 4.
Aaron Donald.
You could go and buy their flawless stuff and NT IMAX stuff cheap. This year ain't gonna be no different onto it.
No, it'll be the Pickett show all year.
For a little bit, probably for first couple games. And then it'll change.
I don't know. Did you read? They were booing. They were booing. Good old Trubisky at training camp.
It'll always happen. Trubisky might come out there and be a stud game one. I don't know. I mean, they don't have a bad wide receiver core. If the offensive line could hold up and you keep Najee Harris healthy, who's kind of a little bit of a threat.
Well, Claypool got hurt today.
Yeah, he'll be back. They ain't even started the season yet. If you really look at some of the pickups the Steelers have for wide receivers, I mean, they're not bad for what they got. I mean, not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl or nothing. I mean, we ain't going to have a Big Ben rookie year where he makes the champion, or not the Super Bowl, the championship game, lose out to the Patriots. But I still think that they'll do better than what most people think.
Yeah, I was talking about that, Teddy. I was talking about how he went and he got one of those new star PSA rookies of Jordan's for $100,000 and 8. They were saying that the PSA 8 star rookie will be just as much as a PSA 10 Fleer Jordan rookie. He was going around talking to all kinds of people. He went to Probstein. He went to this little podcast guys. He went all over.
He gave the Wander Franco mascot card to the person was supposed to get. He got trolled too much.
Yeah,
he tried to, play it off. Well, I'd do the right thing, Okay, whatever, guy. And then for Teddy, I could think of one person worse at pimping out there. One person.
I'm trying to guess.
Anything out there is for the money. He'll make it look good. He even said Mark's cards like family.
Talk about Mr. Kenny.
Kenny Golden had nothing to do with Mark's cards. And Kenny Golden doesn't have a YouTube channel he uses to pimp out stuff. Yeah, they will, Chris. They'll grade them.
What's up? Oh, yeah, I'll pimp anything.
There is another platform that's supposed to launch. Man, I'm trying to remember September or October.
Is it ComC supposed to? Oh, ComC already did theirs, right? Ohio Sports Cards.
No, it's not them. if they do decide to stop grading them because they can't pick apart the counterfeits, man, people are gonna be stuck with them grading fees, and then you're gonna have to cross them over. That's why I said the guy that I can't remember if he was like the guy that owned Star or he was the one producing the cards or something. He worked at Beckett. And that's why everybody, trusted the guy because he could pick these forgeries out real good. So I'll still stick with Beckett over PSA on. Nothing against PSA on too. It's just that I feel more comfortable with the Beckett one, especially when I look back and I know when it was graded and the guy was there and he did all the training onto it. Now, my luck, what will happen is I probably got the one counterfeit. Beckett goes out of business. I'm just screwed. Well, I'm really not screwed. I wanted a Mega Raz years ago, so I'm not worried.
God, I hope those labels aren't correct. Those new Beckett slabs. Ooh.
Beckett put a message out saying there was something like a lot of, I don't know, people are just unsure what they're seeing. That's just one of the things they stuck up there to get people's feedback. And that's what I thought it had to be because there was no news. But my thing is, if you're going to put that up and you're going to talk about a new slab, you'd want to do it on the grandest stage of them all. It would be like, putting, I don't know, Hulk Hogan and The Rock, not at WrestleMania, and putting them on Monday Night Raw for the first match. It's just stupid. You do it on the biggest stage of them all. Now, what I would have done there is I'd have done this. I'd have planned this out. I would have started back in February, March, told people come up with their own Beckett designs, send them to them for the label and all that stuff, right? I'd have went through, picked out, with my little people and picked out 10 I like, told everybody to vote. Tell them what you like and don't like on this. And then what I would have done is I'd announce the winner to national because then the people have say-so in how that slab looks. Hey, I'm available to hire Beckett. I really am. You can hire me. I'll be low cost.
What they should have did is make a bunch of designs and let people vote then. Let them vote, let them make their own designs, but then, have like 20 or 30 options on Beckett's website. And they're going to say, all right, we're going to show the top 3 at the national. You come at the national, put in your vote. I don't know, we'll give you a hat, a t-shirt, something like that. The winner is at the end of the show. What everybody, voted on. But I understand you got to have different ones
going on all month of July. Close it off before the national.
Yeah.
Set a time on the big stage. Do it all. No, it was not Gary Vee or Jabs. Jabs is up there with people I cannot stand. I will say that. But it's not Jabs. Jabs will pimp out anything gets for free. Ain't gonna lie. But I'm talking about where you get tons of sponsorship money and stuff. Jabs he's up in top 5 for me. I could care less about. He's more about pumping up them freaking mystery box craps that he gets sent and loaded. He gets them for free, then he sells them off. I was fine with the old label. Maybe if you made the font a little bit, more bolder onto it, than the only thing I could say. But I was fine with their old stuff. I agree. I had no issue with the old stuff. This new stuff, and I mean, honestly, if you think about it, their new little logo does look like Bitcoin. That's what I laughed about too. And it kind of reminds me of what they showed with those labels was like kind of a ripoff of one of these new start-off companies, which I didn't like anyhow. That's why I said I would have went, especially with Beckett, okay? They have gone down the hill so much. Well, everybody else has prospered and went past them. They've slowly slid down. I'd have brought in new people and been like, hey, give me some ideas. I'd have been like, boom, here you go. Let the people decide how they want to make this new slab, labels or whatever. And you know what? Because there's some genius guys out there. And the guy that, the 10 people I'd have picked out of it, I'd have gave them something for their effort. And the guy I won it, I'd have gave him, maybe X amount of free grades for however long. But I wouldn't have put that in the thing. I'd have waited until it was over because people are going to try to pump somebody to get them that money in that label. I would announce that as part of the thing. I'd have done it after the show, after I announced, but like, all right, all 10 finalists, you get this regardless. Or 9 non-winners. The top guy, you get this. The winner of it is by vote, boom. That's what we're going with. But see, power, what people want. And that's the thing is, people don't look at what your customer wants. They have these brilliant ideas for people that have no idea about sports cars. I think they do, or they bought some packs of tops back in like freaking 2008, and they got some freaking 6-year degree now, and they know what the people want. They don't. Their marketing strategies are horrible on how to try to get feedback properly.
See, here's my thing with the star cards. I, for some reason, still don't think the star card is the real rookie, because it's a company that didn't have longevity.
It don't matter. Either was Bowman.
But yeah,
but debate the same thing against Bowman versus Topps for the mantle.
But if that's the
true
case,
vintage person will tell you the Bowman's a true rookie card.
But if that's the case, then why isn't Classic consider that? Considering Bo Jackson's and Barry Bonds' rookies were before. And Classic had theirs.
Don't know. Maybe because they weren't. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you this much, though. Star has always held the pure power with all the variations, the Gatorade, whatever it may be. And I actually dug one of these out. This is what, right there. Let me flip it around. This is what the backs looked like when you got these dang things. If I can get it to go right here. There we go. They were serial numbered. They came in something exactly like this here. And that's how you picked them up. I probably got about, 80, 90 of these different ones, different players across the board that I bought through time. But the thing is, nobody else had cards out during that time frame. Whenever Classic did theirs, there were other companies out. When Star did it, really wasn't much left out there.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Topps was still doing basketball, but for some reason during that time, they weren't there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They were the only cards produced.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. Is what's weird is, I don't know.
If other companies out produced during that time frame, I would probably say, okay, then yes. But during that time frame, and this has been discussed prior to all these freaking sneaker guys and Bitcoin people coming out. Anybody that was a true Jordan collector will tell you those star cards are the true. The Fleer, it's just the first really traded card that was licensed and had all that craziness behind it. Star had its stuff, but it was just one of those things that wasn't produced in packs. You had to buy the team sets or the player sets or whatever it may be. But when you look at Classic, though, you also had at that time frame Fleer, Don Russ, and Topps out. Score came out in 88. Upper Deck 89.
Yep.
So you had other companies during that time frame. That's probably the thought process behind it. Now, if you go back to the thing that I was telling you about the XRC rookie, you had those before with Topps. You had what they call update from Fleer and stuff like that too. So those were like considered your XRC rookies.
Yeah, that's why the Ripken XRC is worth more than the regular Topps, because it was in the traded.
Well, exactly. You had to buy it by set. You couldn't buy it out of a freaking pack of cards too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at all that stuff going across the board, there's different factors that played into that. But to me, even before PSA even had a freaking thought of it, I told you, Star is the true rookie out there. You look at how many Star cards are produced compared to that freaking Fleer.
Oh, absolutely. I think there was what? 3,000?
Of what?
Star.
Each one's different sets numbers. That one's out of 1,500. Each one's different. And the cards aren't serial number. You had to have that case to be able to look to tell what it is. And I do have a couple of the Jordans, but they're not here, so I couldn't tell you if it's out of 1,500, out of 2,500. And I think a lot of them you could only buy at the games, if I recall from that team's game. Somebody out there can quote me if I'm wrong on to it, because I didn't pick up those until, I bet you somewhere between 2000 2003 when I started buying them, because I started finding them.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
No,
missing a lot.
classic was licensed. I'm not mistaken.
It was
Classic did
licensed
have.
back then. I'm not saying it. It's different types of agreements and stuff that were out there.
Yeah, no,
That's why
because they were talking about unlicensed or licensed, and I'm like, well, Star, I think, was licensed, and so was Classic at that time. At that time, getting a license to do print cards, they really didn't give a shit.
Oh, them Topps Tiffany sets are hard. I have a couple of them, but I'm telling you what, it's one of the ones you don't want to open up. I don't know if it was unlicensed or not. I have a couple out upstairs. I'll have to look to see what it says on back. Because if it says it's underneath the Major League Baseball agreement or trademark, then it was. Back then, it was kind of funky, because if you do remember in the late 80s, we had a lot of funky companies that were just making cards too. But I think Classic was licensed, if I recall right. Oh, Teddy, I was talking about that the other day. If Upper Deck came out with something once a year, and it could be not what do they call it, Godwin, but something else, to where maybe you put Jordan in like a McDonald's uniform or a Scottie Pippen crazy charity jersey or whatever, and you had him sign like 30 cards. Say you do one out of 25 out of 5, maybe then 1 of 1 or something like that. And you did that with him, LeBron, Gretzky, and Woods. That product would cost so much money. They hold that in their court. And I'm sure, Michael Jordan signing maybe like 30 or 40 cards a year is not that much.
Well, the Flair has been, I don't know how many times reprinted. The Flair Jordan rookie has been reprinted so many times.
Well, no, what it was during that year, it wasn't reprinted so many times. So what happened is you had the initial release, and you'd have some afterwards. So anybody remembers Panini, even back in the day, you had different ways that they would release product in. Topps did the same thing, so did Fleer. So that initial Fleer thing was released in waves back then as well, too. Plus, you had them trying to get part of all the stuff, and they were come around. I remember Tobacco Village having like 10 cases of stuff. They couldn't even get rid of it. Guys were like arguing over, I forget what it was, like $30 a box or something, or if $20 a box, the guys were wanting to pay 15 and people wouldn't take it. Now they kick themselves in the ass over it.
Well, remember when Star tried to get into football? That didn't go very well. I think that was the last
about licensing on them old ones. I'd have to really dig into it. Star was though there.
I think that was the last Star product they did, was the Star Picks. Remember the basketball and the football, the Brett Favre year.
There was other ones that they stopped during a time frame. I'd have to go back and look. Scoreboard. I don't know on that. I don't know. I'd probably just grade them all outright and just build a set.
Classic had to have been licensed for them to be able to use the whole uniform.
You'd think that about every card company that came out during that time frame. They all weren't. I think you're right. Some of them came in team bags. Some came like this here, where it was in these things. Because I'm almost positive I can't get the show because of stupid green screen now.
Back it up. Back it up.
Yeah, but I gotta get it right. Maybe you're in my face. I don't know. But anyhow, these are the freaking like little plastic 25 count boxes. A lot of them came in that too. Because like I said, I remember seeing them like this. I remember seeing them in the team bags too. But I think you could only buy those through the team itself at games or something. There was something about it.
But look at something.
There's so many reprints of the Star, it's not even funny. There's a lot of reprints of the Fleer Jordan too. When I use the word reprint, I'm saying it's not licensed through that company though. It wasn't another wave that was printed again. Oh, maybe they did come in team bags, Teddy. I don't know. When I found these, they were just like that. And I actually had this one. It was laying off to the side. I forgot about. I found a box. That's all Karl Malone stuff there. But I have a bunch of them. They're all different players across the board, different colors, Gatorades. I just have never done anything with them. Okay. So they were not licensed. That makes sense then. Which is kind of weird because, again, it goes back that certain people don't grade unlicensed product, but yet we see Classic graded by them companies.
Yeah, because I have a Larry Walker rookie right here. Look and see, it doesn't say anything about licenses in the back, but it does say Major League Record.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, they used to crank down the screw downs on them. I remember. Because I have sets of those upstairs. But I remember offhand the guy that used to do the screw downs, because then remember it was the snap touches that came out too. And he was telling about the screw downs whenever I was putting cards in, not to crank them the whole way down because you were going to ruin the card itself. But yeah, I remember a lot of, because guys used to sub at flea markets, they didn't have the umbrellas up. That heat killed those cards. No, to me, the 86 star cards are more valuable than the Fleer. That's just my thing.
The 84 stars, not 86.
What?
You said 86 star.
86 Fleer. The Fleer Jordan rookie, to me, is worth less than a star because I'll tell you now, them star cards are very, very hard to grade. Very hard.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you'll ever see a star 10. PSA 10.
Never know. You might. Okay, they broke them down. So yeah, I just know because of the sticker on this. So when I bought these, they were at, I think it was like a VFW or Fire Hall was doing a show, and a guy had like, I don't know, probably like, I don't know how many sets. I picked a bunch up there in Pennsylvania. I picked a bunch up in an Ohio show, and I found some more at a North Carolina show. I paid a little more on those, of course. But yeah, that's the only reason I have them. Oh yeah, them snap touches, man, they were painful. They looked nice at first, but when you started sliding them and everything, if they would have had bags for them back then to put over top, you'd been fine. I remember I used to try to open the top up and slide them back in because they only held like the exact fit of the thing. It was too hard. But yeah, I remember the flea markets and stuff out there because they used to have them all in screw downs and stuff. And them dudes had it in tight. You can see the screw like way down in the hole and stuff. And if it wasn't for those old guys, man, tell me about that. I'd have never known years ago about it. Stay away when they're pushed down that low, the screws. And I'm like, what? It was just like whenever Upper Deck Hockey came out, the extended series, somebody told me about the packs being flipped the other which way, and there was one per row, and that's where like the Young Guns, the Fedorov and stuff was. Man, as soon as somebody told me that trick, it's no joke. Me and that guy went to all these flea markets, and we were hunting them in boxes. Just searching boxes and grabbing those backward packs because nobody knew about them. Oh yeah, they were very easy. That's why that star guy Beckett, when they brought him on, it was genius because he knew what to look for ink and all that other stuff. And man. Because I got a few Jordan Beckett's that are graded, but I want to say I probably bought 2 out of like the 6 or 7 that I own. The other ones I won years ago.
I'm gonna corner the market on Mother's cookies.
I heard a lot of craziness out there with stuff. But it all come down to eventually it's sad. It's not going to be over personal opinion and what you like more. It's going to come down with everybody pumping in all these star cars because they hurry up, rush, got them graded by PSA, and it'll be the next big thing out there. I was telling Joey because I had to look because I have a picture of mine. And the only reason I dug it up on my computer is for insurance purposes up in the boxes, up in the safety deposit boxes I got to do each year. And I read it off to him the subgrades. I mean, I would have a great shot at a PSA 9 onto it. But I'm not doing that. I'm not getting it cracked. I'm not changing it over and paying freaking stupid money to do it. It's staying in its Beckett slab. The last show, a guy I know out there, he bought some nice cards. He found a LeBron rookie, a Brady Bowman. I think it was Bowman Chrome rookie. Might have just been the Bowman. I can't remember. Another card, and he brings a jeweler tool with him. Purpose being, make sure it fakes because you can look at the dots versus the lines and all this other ink stuff. He's a really smart guy because he was having me look the stuff over. But because, you know, sometimes you see the stuff and you're like, man, that looks kind of too good to be true type deal on stuff. And I mean, I told him I didn't have my microscope with me at the show, but I mean, just by looking at it with my big magnifier, I said, man, this LeBron rookie looks like a 10. I ain't gonna lie. And I barely ever said, I said, you have a real good shot at it. Now the Brady, I think, is gonna be a solid 8, possibly maybe a 9 onto it, but
nice.
You know, it's just stuff like that you find. It's rare occasions, and a lot of these guys never explain that in these crazy content YouTuber videos. These deals that you see popping all the time, some of them to me aren't really deals or finds. And to me, I go to a card show every weekend, and I might only find, of course, the year 4 or 5 that I call steals of deals at, because those are very hard to find. A lot of times the bigger deals that I find is because of word of mouth. And for example, I've helped a lot of people out locally around here because they inherited their dad's cards or something like that there. And I look through them, I'll tell them what they got. I'm like, you need to grade these and stuff like that there. I'll help them do all that. And next thing you know, they'll be like, hey, you know, my buddy or so-and-so just got stuff. He don't want them. He wants to sell them all. And he went down to like one of these shops. They offered him this. And I'm like, that don't sound right. And I'll look at them and I'll give him my fair price onto it, even though I knew what the shop offered him. I mean, I could have been like $100 more, but you know, that's how you really find them steals of deals. And it's just because of reputation. Like, hey, don't go there. Go see him. He's going to give you the best amount for it. And it's just word of mouth. But some of that stuff you see people finding all the time, these shows, they're calling, oh man, steals of deals and stuff. It's really, to me, it's not. The deals come whenever you could find ungraded cards that are really authentic and are not like reprints. And you know it's going to grade out, especially like them 50s and 60s cards. Man, that when you find stuff like that, or even the old pre-war stuff, you're like, oh my gosh. Oh, you guys remember Sports Flicks, the 3D cards? Heck yeah. I still got a couple of boxes of 87. I think it's 87s or 86s of that stuff. I think it's 87 though.
I heard those are coming back.
They tried it a couple times already.
Mm-hmm. Teddy, I mean, I used to like the sunflower seed cards, getting into the sunflower seeds.
I remember M&M's when they used to come in the cardboard box. You pull it out and had the 2 cards in it, were perforated in the middle. I had so many sets. I still got a few of the sets.
Yeah, the Cracker Jack cards.
I still have a couple of those too. Those are
Mhm.
like late 80s, I want to say.
Mhm.
I still have ones. Remember beef jerky? They used to have the round card on top of the can.
Mm-hmm.
I got some of those too. Luckily, I was just put them in top loaders back in the day. Now, granted, I didn't penny sleeve them back then, so I had to redo all that. But I got, oh man, I don't know how many, probably about 100 of the beef jerky ones. I mean, one day I need to really sit down and probably grade all this stuff and just wait for somebody to pump it.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come where the minuscule stuff is gonna be pumped for some reason.
It's still
Like the
people
K
get tired
the
of it.
Kmart, the Kmart cards, the KB ones,
I got those still in still packs.
That's
I'm just no joke. I was running. These guys would do like medium and large flat rate boxes of stuff like that. And I mean, you were getting like 87 tops, 89 Donruss boxes and stuff. Hell, one night I did a video, opened up like 320 some packs of Donruss, 89 Donruss. Had like 2 Griffey rookies. Can't believe, maybe it was 1. I can't remember.
one of them 10,
it took me over 3 hours to open up over 300 packs of that.
but one of them 10.
Didn't come out of that. It came out of the boxes I had, not out of the loose packs.
Mm.
Loose packs had like this little grocery sticker. I think it said like 39 cents or 49 cents on something like that. But yeah, I still got tons of that stuff. I mean, now, granted, whenever the stuff popped at first, and everybody was going around looking at it, eventually I was like, how much you want to pay for an 87 top sealed case? And I'm like, what are you? Oh, come get it. I got more. I'll bring all this stuff out. I lugged all this stuff out in the garage because I probably had, between 87 tops, 88 tops, 89 tops, all that stuff. I had endless boxes through in the beginning of the 90s. I brought all this stuff up there into my garage. Guy pulled in. I'll never forget. He brought a minivan that didn't have the back seat into it. I guess he took it out just for loading stuff up. And I was like, how much you want to do for it all? This dude, it's no joke. He was sitting there fumbling away on his little calculator and his phone and stuff. He gave a price out. I'm like, all right. He was like getting ready to argue over the price. Like, like I'm like, dude, I have literally maybe $300 or $400 invested in all this crap here. And you're offering me like 30x. I'm good. But I unloaded a good chunk of my closet that day.
I'm this tempted to buy a couple cases of 91 Donruss.
Remember them 7-Eleven Slurpee cards.
And go elite hunting.
Go for it. They're probably baked together by now.
Because those elite cards were a bitch to pull.
1 per case. I know guys used to buy the cases of it, pulled the elite card, whatever box they're left, they put it at their table and sold them at the shows. Older guys too. At that time frame, I mean, I was probably like 17, 18 years old. And these dudes are like late 30s, early 40s, maybe 50s. And they just knew me from coming around. They're like, you don't want these. I'm like, what? And then I end up hearing about it. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You already pulled and you're selling the rest of the box. Yep. Because I'll never forget, Ripken had an autograph card in one of them, and I wanted it. The guy pulled it. I ended up having to trade for it. But
Ripken and Ryan Sandberg had one.
I just remember Ripken. I still have that card, as a matter of fact. Because I ended up trading 2 Hank Aaron holograms for the time they were like $45 cards, and a Gary Sheffield. It was 89 upper deck error card for it.
The shortstop error?
Mm-hmm. I remember them books there, Teddy. I don't have any of that stuff. I mean, some of the craziest stuff that I picked up at when I was going through people's dollar boxes, I got these temporary freaking Marvel tattoos. I started looking up. They're selling for like 30, 40, 50 bucks. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, it's just sitting there. I mean, I don't know how you grade a temporary tattoo card. I'm sure where there's a will, one of the grading companies will.
You can grade you damn near probably anything now.
Oh man, Teddy, I was buying the hell out of the 90 Donruss error boxes, pulling the Nolan Ryan errors all day long. You usually got one of each per box. Sometimes you double up onto them into there. And I think at that time frame, those boxes were like $6.99 for the non-error. And the guys would sit there and show you because you had to go off the case number in order to know it was the error boxes onto it. And I think I was paying like $20 or $25 a box on eBay.
Oh, Teddy, don't get into Nolan Ryan autos because he's looking for a PSA 9 if he can get one.
Well, I'm looking raw in order to grade it. I'm not buying a PSA 9. No, 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 no.
Oh no, everyone was chasing the Jordan SPs. They weren't caring about them.
Saying that year there's still over 1,000 of the Nolan Ryan autos out there in packs. I would cry right now to pull one and it's bricked.
They really shouldn't be bricked because they didn't have gloss. They can get bricked if they weren't taken care of, but they weren't gloss.
Gloss, if they were in a heat area, they're gonna be together where you're pulling it apart. You got that auto up against another gloss part, you're trying to pull it off, that auto's coming off. So basically, you're gonna have to, if you got one and you open the first pack up, you're gonna have to put that stuff like in your freezer for a few. There's a couple weird ways of doing it.
The freezer.
I seen one dude using this torch method, and it scared the living crap out of me. What's
Nah, just put in the freezer for like 2-3 days and open them. You just gotta hope that Nolan Ryan's not on top where the sticker was, the hologram sticker was.
No, the Nolan Ryan, so everybody I've talked to has always been in the middle of the pack. It's never been the first card or last card. No, those cloth cards are cool. I like that Alan Ginter started making them again and putting them into products. Those were cool as hell. Because I was trying to get the Clemente out of it, and it just started going for stupid money, and I just stopped looking for them. I always see the Reggie Jackson upper deck at a couple shows. There's a couple guys that have it, and they're always at like $250 a pop onto it. But here's the funny thing. So if you look at the upper deck autos like the Reggie, Mantle, Nolan Ryan, Hank Aaron, there was another. I think they did 5 years of it.
Ted Williams, wasn't it? I thought Ted Williams. No, Johnny
Bench. It might have been Ted. I was going to say it was like Ted Williams or Yaz or somebody.
Or they had Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan one year.
It might be. If you look at the prices of those, okay, go over and look at like the Montana one and stuff like that, the price difference. The football one's so much cheaper. There might be on hand. I all those things that were made back then, I can't even remember. I was lucky I remember the beef jerky circles when we were talking, the M&M cards. And the only reason I remember the beef jerky was because I was flipping through a box of top loaders and I found them all in there. Crazy names onto when you start looking at like Will Clark and stuff. You're like, whoa, these are really old.
Do you remember these cloth cards? The old Pacific Revolution came out with those cloth cards.
That wasn't in the Pacific cards.
Pacific had some great inserts.
I remember us going to Big Lots, and they used to always have the Pro Set Series 1 and 2 stuff there for like boxes like $2.99 or $3.99. So one time they had the wild card ones in there, right? I think they were like $3.99 a box or something stupid.
Stripe hunting, huh?
Huh?
Stripe hunting.
Yeah, that's what I did. I forget what the big one was, 1,000 or something. I could never find that one.
Yeah, the 1,000 was the big one.
5,000. I forget. It was a big number one because everybody's like, just multiply that number times the thing. That's what it's worth. I'm like, oh man. Yeah. I kept hitting all the little ones. I think it was like 5, 10, 25. I pulled 100 a couple times.
I picked up an interesting slab. These 2002 corporate archives. You ever seen these? It's missing the relic inside there. I can get this in there. It's missing the relic. And this case is weird. It has like groove right here. It's a weird ass case. Never seen anything like it. End up picking it up. But yeah, the jersey piece is missing out of it in the middle. But it's a corporate archive proof. So it's kind of like what they showed the investors, what they were coming out with. This was actually PSA certified. Not great, it just says authentic.
I was at one show, this is years ago, and I can't remember if it said promo or sample cards that were on to it. And a guy, I can't remember the backstory if his brother or brother-in-law or somebody worked for the company and gave him a ton of them. He gave me a stack of them. I found those in the top loaders. Same with the beef jerky cards. I forgot about it. There's a bunch of stuff they used to do like that. Pop out card. I remember something about pop outs or.
Oh, Teddy, I got tons of those Hall of Fame postcards signed from the Hall of Fame. You get them there, the postcards, the plaque ones. I have a ton of those. I have a Satchel Paige auto one of those. I have a Satchel Paige, Mantle, DiMaggio, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan. I have a bunch of those. PSA, Beckett, and SGC certified. When SGC used to do auto authentications. The Nolan Ryan I actually sent to his foundation. He has a little hologram logo on the back of it. What happened?
I sent a group message out earlier asking about how many people were setting up at the Lexington show. I already knew 3 guys that were setting up there. I was just curious if it's really a waste of my time driving there tomorrow or not because the national. A couple guys are setting up. I was trying to see if they talked to the guy running it on maybe he heard he has 10 or 15, 20 tables open. My fear is I go there and there's like 10 dealers, 15. Which could be good because then people are going to be hurting. But I don't know how big the crowd's going to be. Just a long day tomorrow. Because I can hit there, come back, hit the butcher, and I got to stop by. A buddy of mine just came back out of his long tour. And he's got to pay me for doing his taxes. I was like, I'll stop by tomorrow. Because I didn't collect whenever I did them for him because he was overseas. I was like, just give me whenever you come back. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I was in the hole was the $25 to e-file them for him. Not like I know he wasn't going to pay me the money. I finally got the stain from my deck. Oh my God, 3 gallons, man. It was $160. How much stain went up? Double in price.
Damn.
Yeah. But now the weather's just been horrible out here. So I'm thinking I got to set up next week in Newburgh. I'm going to take that Monday off because that's just a long drive there and back, and just go out early in the morning if it's not raining on that Monday. Because all I want to do is stain like the top and then the side where the sun comes down on the deck just to get that coat on. The rest of it, I'll worry about next year doing the complete stains. It's already got like 4 coats of stain on it, but it's just that sun bakes this stuff out here.
That's when you need to get an umbrella and a little chair and put it over it.
No, I'll just bring out the damn Mai Tais. 52 Archive says started this whole reprint of yesteryear's sets. This is what bothers me about the jack off content creators. They know nothing about the past. A lot of them don't. I mean, I sit there and listen to some of these dudes, and like you'll have stuff you're like, oh, I never knew this. I'm like, because you weren't alive. You don't do the research or put the time and effort in. It's all about, hey, look at me. I got this at a great price. So I'm going to move this and make a couple G's. Hey, this is no joke. There's a video from Whatnot out there. Okay. I wish I had a copy of it. It was on like either Instagram or Twitter, and it's on my phone. I can't play it on here, but so it talks with Whatnot going out there and asking like kids what they think about the hobby or something like that, or what's great about it. They're all like, oh, the money, the flip, bank. Then there's a kid that comes on there and he does YouTube.
Zach Wilson.
No. There's a kid on there. He does YouTube. And he's like, man, it's all about the hustle, you got to get yours and all this stuff. And if you could catch it before Whatnot cuts off the camera, there's a guy, it's an older guy, comes walking by. I think he has a bald head. It's like, he's just so sick of hearing that. Like the pure collector, you could tell that he's sick of hearing about the flip and the hustle and the bank. And I just laughed.
What's the pitch after the national ends?
Cards suck. They're going down. The classes are horrible. But don't worry, guys. We're going to rebound. We got to put positive videos out there. And we got to you got to go to your neighbors who never collected cards before, people you work with, tell them how good it is, get them to invest into so we can get money back into the hobby. That's going to be the pitch. And then it's going to go to the end of the year, and they're going to talk about, well, things are now settled down. Everybody's rolling, PSA's on track, SGC, Beckett's still in left field, yada, yada, yada. They'll start trying to find the next thing to pump in onto. We'll start hitting the Dallas shows, the Tampa shows, the Virginia place, the Boston show, and all that stuff. It'll continue though with the pitch. It's going to be to the time to where either they're just tired of doing it and they leave. Maybe they take a break for a few years. Then they all of a sudden get into a mysterious Zoom call and they're like, let's do it again, guys. You still got your stuff. I got mine. We just made a ton of money off of freaking VHS tapes and 8-tracks. Let's do this.
I just made a shit ton off the CDs, guys.
We now grade CDs. If there's no scratches, freaking black label, 10.
You guys are grading CDs? You guys are grading CDs now.
Years ago, I remember these people went on this big rampage about Disney VHS tapes, right?
Oh, they're still crazy about it.
No. This was like with some weird footage and pictures that came with the stuff, right? So the girl I was dating had this is no joke, probably like 200 Disney tapes. And she's like, well, it's showing on eBay. This is selling for like $300. I mean, there's no way anybody's paying $300 for a VHS tape of The Little Mermaid. So you have to do a lot of research onto this stuff to find it. But there's like some of the very first ones that came out might have like, I don't know, like a starfish humping a mermaid or something like that into it. Or maybe it has a penis going in the clouds or something weird in The Lion King or something like that. I guess those ones there are worth some money because they caught it and then they hurried up and dumped it. I guess there's even something out there. There's something with the Wizard of Oz with something to where like one of their earlier films in black and white where it's zoomed in, you can see the guy hanging without actually stopping the tape, putting it on your computer and blowing it up, but they zoomed in and you can see him even more. So they had to recut the whole thing somehow. So I don't know. I mean, that stuff there is just crazy. So I have no idea on VHS tapes. I mean, but that's
sounds like you've been watching The Boys too much.
I haven't watched that in like 2 weeks. I finished it.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was demented, strange, and wrong all at the same time.
But you liked it.
No,
I loved it.
it was strange and demented to see a fake Aquaman using an octopus as his lover. The rip-off Superman guy.
It's a spoof on the Justice League. It's pretty much what it is. But if
it's beyond being a spoof. That's the
but if the Justice League were completely effed in the head.
If I went out, did acid, drank a whole lot of Goldschlager, and believed that cocaine or blow, whatever the terminology is, was the greatest thing, that's how I would imagine the Justice League if they were demented. That movie, TV series, wow. Okay, I'm not going to give you any spoils onto it. Sorry. I but the octopus part, just that was about the only thing I said onto it.
It is 2 thumbs up. I like demented shit like that, so I'm good.
I watched all the seasons.
I laughed the whole time.
And at first, I was like, "Oh, there's a lot of bloodness. Okay, a little bit different." And then as it started going on and on and on, I'm like, "This is disturbing, even for me." I mean, I even think my fisters from Iraq would even call it disturbing. These dudes were into like weird videos, like I don't know, like they would like 2 girls in 1 cup. This even put that to a new realm.
You've only watched the first season, huh?
Whatever all was. No, I watched whatever. No, I watched like 3 seasons of it.
Oh, okay. So you're completely caught up then.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I put on the free thing on to and watched.
Well, then you liked it. If you watched all 3 seasons, you had to have liked it.
Oh, I did it while I was grading and doing other stuff here, and I was watching it, and I'm going. So here's the microscope in front. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with? I would rather watch Jackass. Wipe down. Yeah. All right, type in. What's wrong? What are you doing up there, Wonder Woman lady? Oh wow, the best adult dating site. Look, I say one thing and next thing comes up.
No, I was about to get it.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure I didn't click somebody else's name.
Right?
Wow.
Time me out.
Look, see, we talk about it and look what comes in the chat. We haven't talked anything like that, and it never came up all day. Now all of a sudden you make one little comment and look, spam bot like woo. Hey,
8 o'clock. My time.
Is that another one? Just popped 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Okay. Now I know if it posts anything else after it.
Well, this is actually, Shannon, based off a comic book that's actually made. They made comic books, so this is actually the show off that, which is freaking amazing.
Okay. Wait, what did I just click on? Oh, go down here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We usually see maybe once, but that there was like a wow. And I'm like, man, were they all at the National? These dudes that usually post this stuff today, and boom, all over the place. I don't want to be the guy that somebody accidentally clicks on one of them links and it's like one of their kids, and next thing you know, like they're like, I was watching Overtime and this popped up. Oh heck no, don't promote that stuff.
You talked about octopus, and here we go.
Bro, one thing about a damn squid, and look,
you done fucked it all up.
I did.
Teddy.
I just think it's funny because there was only a few people that do YouTube videos that talk bad about the venue being in Atlantic City, and none of us are there, from my understanding. Everybody else, all there.
Every video I've seen, everyone's like, "Oh, we're having a great time. The hobby is alive. It's packed wall to wall. Deals are to be had. Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, okay.
I know him too. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what they do. We got to put out the feel good stories. Everything I see now, a couple of videos that talked about the bad internet, bad parking and stuff out there, but everybody else is like, hey, it's the national. Look at this. It's so great. And I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a spin on anything to make it look good. And this video is now sponsored by. That's why a lot of these dudes went out there for is trying to find their sponsorships for the videos too. Which new company out there is desperate right now for sponsorship?
Let me think.
Oh no, I'm not asking. It's just what they're thinking offhand. Yeah, SPF, I'm doing it again. I'll probably push something out into this month. Soon as I get a thing up from Gridiron, whenever like 2 weeks out from week 1, I'll push it out. I'll do a video and I'll put in Discord.
Everyone's at the national going, whose pole do I got to polish today?
No, I can tell you now, they're walking around. They're like, I never heard of this. Hey, tell me about yourself. Huh? Do you guys do any type of marketing? I have a YouTube platform and I have 15, 20, 30,000 subscribers. If you're interested in advertising on my channel, I run this amount, per video or whatever they do. I don't know. You can have like up to a 30-second video for this amount here. And that's what a lot of them do.
Hey, Teddy, I like Clerks. I like Jay and Silent Bob. I like them. They're coming out with a third Clerks. I can't wait for it. See, okay, yeah, Shannon, I get it. You'd rather spend the money on a card than go there. I agree, but I'm not going to Atlantic City. I'll go to Chicago or Cleveland or something like that, but I'm not going to Atlantic City.
Eddie, I thought you were going somewhere else with that next to the last comment with the Malibu Most One, where you say he's like Jay from. And that would have been probably to where I was thinking of somebody else you were talking about.
I'm not mistaken.
I mean, the only reason I will go up to Chicago, this is no joke, is because I'm going to move my Jordans. And what I'll probably end up doing is if I do go up there, if we do get a Airbnb, I'll probably look at trying to find like a VFW American Legion area to where they won't like screw me over for cost, and try to do something where you can do a trade night at one of those.
Yeah.
Or you could drink alcohol in those if you really want to. I really don't care. 2, we could have food in there, and it's not going to be $10,000 to rent this room out. And if we get too rowdy, they're going to kick everybody out of the hotel room. So that's just my thought behind it. It's a long thought process behind it all. But if I'm going to be going up there to set up or help somebody set up, I don't know if I'd run the trade night up there. I might still.
I tell you what, if we go, I'll try and get 2 hotel rooms that connect to my room and somebody else's, and we can do the trade night at that hotel. So we have 2 rooms. Huh?
That's too small.
Well, how many people you want there?
Oh, there'll be 50 to 100 easily. It'll be by invite only. I'm not letting any old riffraff come walking in there now. I mean, I can't have Teddy show up and Jeff Wilson both in the same place. Come on now.
Well, I mean, fuck, you didn't even give me an invitation, asshole.
I didn't do anybody an invitation yet. No, I'd want people I know, are going to come up there and not going to be act stupid at the same time frame. I mean, if you open it up to the whole public and stuff like that, just crazy. If you do it limited to like, I don't know, I'm just thinking a lot of these American Legions do like bingo and VFW. They fit like 100, 150 people in there. Get that out, get a couple tables, throw some pizzas on there, some drinks, tell them bars over there. You guys pay for your own beer. And just hold your own thing with trade night at tables in there, just between people that I know or I've done deals with or whatever. to where it's just not going to get carried on. And have the riffraffs come in.
Rick and Teddy. Well, hell, we should just do a trade night near you and have one near you, and we all fly in.
See, if you do that, it's just for a one night only thing. At least
No. We make it a weekend thing.
If I would do it, it would be like linked to like the Nashville card show or even like the Indy card show.
Yeah,
I would do one of those because I'm in the area. I prefer to do Nashville just because I know people at Campbell and we could bounce it there. I mean, even if I could find a Masonic Lodge that had a big room, I could walk in there and get it for us for the night type deal. With that there, I'd probably be looking at 50 people max probably coming to a Nashville show. But I think it'd be just something fun where we could all have it there. I was just thinking like an American Legion or something, because I know they're not going to kill me at like $10,000 for a room, and I could probably get it for maybe 800 to maybe $2,000 max. And order
might be
a big thing of Domino's
military or something. Isn't there like military buildings or something like that you can probably do that, something like that? Not at a base or something like that, but I don't know if they have like a banquet hall or something like that they have for veterans or anything.
Mm-mm. Not close to Nashville. Fort Campbell's like a 45-minute drive. Too far. Gotcha. So that's why I'd find like a local VFW or something like that there. I'm still waiting for those videos to come out, Shannon. People gotten robbed, stolen cards, somebody went to jail. I haven't seen none of that yet. Amazing. I think it's the first year in about 3 or 4 years. Take out the 1 year they didn't do the national. I haven't heard of something like that. Probably been even longer, 5, 6. But no, I just think the trade night thing would be kind of fun to do offhand. Because if you're in there and it's just low key to where you're not going to be jam packed and cramming people sitting on the floor every which way, and people could kind of be like, oh, I know so and so from this chat or Discord or whatever it may be. You kind of already have a rapport built in a way, or at least with some of the people, versus if you just open it to the public, it could get stupid.
Well, what about a hotel lobby though?
Way too much. No, you don't do that. It's free. And the thing is, you do a hotel lobby, gets too long in the night, they kick you out. People could lose their rooms in there because of doing stupid stuff. And then you have any riffraff off the street coming in there with stuff. I just no. To me, like I said, just a small little venue, something like that there, to where I don't have to worry about everybody showing up down there. It's one of those things by invite only. And if you do it like the American Legion or VFW, there's a buzzer in the door. You got to give your name, show an ID card to verify it's you on the list. Otherwise, you don't come in. Now, granted, if you're a member of a VFW or the American Legion, you're going to get in, but I'll still catch you eventually.
Oh, the PSA line?
Craig, but the catch is that the people that used PSA on Wednesday, where it was just dealer, or Tuesday or Wednesday was dealer only set up, they already plugged all their stuff in. They're good. But open to the regular customer, I have heard it's long. I've heard CSG has computers there. So basically you go up and you type in your information, and then they text you when it's time for your appointments. There's no standing in line. I thought it was genius. Why couldn't the other grading companies do something like this? Go up there, put your information in there. Well, anyhow, CSG, once they alert you, they tell you, come over, you tell the person, hey, I'm up next. Here's my little thingy. They take you to the computer, you fill your stuff out, you hit print, go to the printer, pull it off, go to the counter, hand your stuff in, done. It's no sitting there for 3-4 hours in line. Why other people couldn't come up with that concept? Again, I'm free, guys, to hire. I mean, I'm open to offers. I could come to you with these kind of great ideas too, where people would love. I think CSG is a perfect thing out there. That's my little promotion again to grading companies. I mean, I heard some of the grading companies are hiring YouTubers. Just a rumor.
I don't want to hear about it, Teddy.
Well, the thing is, though, Tay, I think that they won't come to Vegas. Just for the fact that you got the Mint out there and then that Panini draft thing out there too. But like I said, I think that somebody, if they were really smart and had the money out there, you do a show per quarter and you rotate it between time zones or for your hot areas, and then you'll go back every year. So, like if I do a show this year in LA, I'm not coming back to LA next year. I might do San Francisco, San Diego the following year. Same with like if I do Dallas, I don't know if I want to do Dallas. I might go to Colorado or Denver the next year. And you rotate around between them time zones, bumping it each year. But every time zone kind of like it gets a show per quarter. And what would be good is like you could like say Colorado, weather sucks for winter. You know you don't want to do one in the wintertime, so you either do fall or spring out there. Summer, you figure out which was your best place. Beach possibilities is California. You want to do Florida that year, but I think that would work well. Just like the old expos, it was every other quarter. It was either in Canada or United States, right on the border. It was the greatest concept ever, but they went away with it.
If they do it in California, I would love for them to do one in San Diego. Weather's always good there, always.
There is word on the street that the card father is putting on a big show out by Burbank somewhere. Whatever.
There's a Burbank show end of August. Pretty big one.
It's not the one he does in his shop. It's like within I don't know if he said 5 miles or 5 minutes, but word on the street is that he's putting together a big show, and they don't know if it's going to be annually, quarterly, twice a year. And he has the resources and stuff to do it in. But when the card father speaks, thou shalt listen to the card father. Oh man, Cleveland's horrible too, Teddy. I mean, honestly, the only one I liked is Chicago at the Rosemont, because you're not downtown. You're kind of like northwest up this way, like up by the airport and stuff. You're not downtown, nothing like that, even though it's kind of still like a city thing, but you're not in like that big, heavy city stuff. I really think Chicago is a decent one to have it at because, one, you have the international flights could come in there and everything else, but I'm not a fan of Cleveland. I already can tell you I've never been a fan of Atlantic City.
Well, I got to go to Cleveland because I want to go to a baseball game and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I think though Chicago, great place. I mean, here's the thing: Atlantic City. Is there any sports teams near Atlantic City? I mean, at least Cleveland has some sports teams. I mean, when I think of a sports card show, wouldn't you think it'd be somewhere near sports teams, like within the vicinity? There's people that tried to pitch the guy that runs the National up here on Louisville, because the minor league teams, you're close to Nashville, you're close to the Titans and all this stuff, the UK, U of L, all this stuff, and they have a huge center that could do it all. But because it being a he doesn't want it there just 1 year. I think it's like a 3-year thing over X amount of years has to be at that location. They wouldn't do it. And then there's all kind of the promise. You have the airport that's in there. People can take their private planes into Louisville Airport. There was a lot to it because they host the Derby. I mean, the Derby is nuts up here. I didn't ever think that many people came to the Derby with what they do. And when I finally seen one in action, oh dear goodness, it was worse than walking through Tampa or the Super Bowl down Tampa with the Steelers versus Cardinals that year.
Well, Tampa wouldn't be bad to have one in Tampa.
No, I wouldn't hold it in Tampa. I'll tell you why, because I'll tell you what, those roads suck. The traffic there sucks.
Oh, I've been there. I know.
I would not hold one in Tampa. If I was to really think about Florida, I would go
Miami.
I think Miami might be too far out of the region. I was thinking Orlando at first. But now that I'm thinking about when I drove around, wouldn't be Jacksonville. I try to think because you want to have sporting stuff around you. I mean, Tampa does have the sports teams around. It's just that city with the roads are horrible. I would hate to go there. I wouldn't personally go to a show in Tampa because of it.
See, I think San Diego would be perfect. The weather's good, the roads are good, big airport. You got sports teams. San Francisco's too crowded.
I think one of the best spots to have it at, and people probably argue on to it, is Atlanta. It's just you have to watch what area of Atlanta you're going to, of course. But if you held it up into the northern part of it all and stuff like that, you could find some places up in there very big that could hold it.
It would be kind of hard around this time because this is kind of like hurricane season right now there, especially Florida, Louisiana, Atlanta. It's kind of hurricane season, so it's kind of you might be able to plan, but then hey, all of a sudden a massive hurricane comes in.
It's a tornado, it's wildfire, it's fires, it's earthquakes. I mean, I could say the same thing. You could have an earthquake in California and the fault line busts off, and you're out in the middle of the ocean. I mean, it could be anything with natural disasters.
No, but San Diego, you're fine on the earthquake because the San Andreas fault doesn't go down to San Diego. You're okay.
Okay, it could be fires, earthquake. I mean, you never know. It could be a freaking big ass earthquake and everything gets jacked up. The building gets engulfed. I mean, I don't know. Anything could happen.
Let's just do it in Wyoming, Montana.
Well, I really think Chicago is a good place to have it at. I would even probably, even though I hate the state, Seattle. I think Seattle would be good.
Have it in Arizona.
I would say New York, but it's just too congested up there too.
I think Memphis would be good.
No.
No?
If you're going to do Memphis, you wouldn't want to do it in Memphis. You'd want to do Nashville. Because you have larger facilities in Nashville to hold that with all the hotel capacity versus Memphis. Memphis has some stuff around it, and I got a basketball team, yay. But Nashville is also known for the country music. They host big, huge events all the time. They can hold the people coming into it. Oh, you just got back from Seattle. Nice. I don't like it up there, but it's still a nice area to where you could get around with it.
You met the Astro players? Was Bregman still cool? I met a lot of the Astro players when they were the minor league team in Fresno. Bregman was really cool. He was a nice guy.
I had another spot in my mind. I just can't think where it was at now.
Don't say Detroit.
No. It was Midwest. It wasn't St. Louis. I'm like picturing the map and going state by state driving. St. Louis. St. Louis has enough that would be able to hold it too. At the same time frame, you have the Cardinals right there. Actually, even Kansas City. One of the two. Now I'm trying to picture which one it was when I drove through there. If it was Kansas City, I'm thinking about, or St. Louis.
Kansas City wouldn't be bad. I would love to get some good barbecue.
Which one is on the west side of the state? Is that Kansas City? Anybody know? Is St. Louis Eastern, and then whichever one's the western side of the state?
Well, Brantley was cool. He was a total tool with the Indians. He was a jerk.
Now.
Brantley was a total jerk with the Indians. God. He was not cool.
I'm trying to think because I can't remember where I stopped at going across 70.
Well, that'll have been a good story for Verlander.
I take it back because now that I'm looking at this, it is Kansas City. It's on the western side. Yeah, St. Louis is way over here. So Kansas City would be the place because I was thinking about driving across 70. And I remember it was right on the border. And man, I stopped there. And it was just real nice and friendly in the area. And I just liked it. It wasn't real polluted type deal in a way, too.
What about Milwaukee?
I don't know. I've never been there. I couldn't really say. But the other place, this is kind of funny. When I left Colorado one time, I had to go to Georgia to pick up my baseball cards when I came back from Afghanistan. So, you put your stuff in the GPS and just say, screw it, I'm going to go. It says, go this weird route here. I'm going to go it. So it had me go south out of Colorado, like through Pueblo. And then it had me like get off in this. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It's an old Western town. And I was like, whoa, what the crap? This is like from the movies and stuff. I don't see it on here.
Man, yeah, like, I'm saying San Diego because there's a nice casino in San Diego that I have free rooms in. I'd go there. I'd stay there.
Well, anyhow, when I went through this whole thing, it was one of the craziest drives ever to Georgia. Going through it all because I end up going through Springfield, Missouri. So I get into Springfield and it's like taking you all through these different roads and stuff. And this is no joke. I go through a trailer park. I'm like, what the heck? This is on like a major road too. Stoplight, trailer parks all over the place. There's a train track there. Things down, going off. No train coming. Man, I'd never so scared in my life too. Lady come over the car. No, I had a Mustang too. Brand new GT. Knocked on my window. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get mugged here. I can just see it now. Stupid GPS. That's all I'm thinking through my head. So I cracked my window down just a little bit. She's like, hey, sir, you're probably in the wrong neck of the woods right here. And I'm like, oh God, this ain't good. I'm having this talk already by somebody out here. She's like, but you need to go somewhere else around because I think this is broke. This thing's been down for about 5 hours now. No trains coming. I'm going, oh gosh, how do I get out of here? And the worst part is like when you start driving another way, your GPS like rerouting, U-turn in 0.2 of a mile. I'm like, no, just take me somewhere else. But yeah, it was one of the weirdest drives because like I went through Colorado, part of Kansas, through Missouri. I hit this little part of like Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. And I'm like, the next day I made Holy this Indian casino in Alabama I used to go to. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm staying here tonight. End up going down there, winning for $1,200. Like, well, I paid for my trip. Woohoo.
See, I don't think Phoenix would work. There's two things wrong with having it in Phoenix. For one, in July, it's blistering hot. Two, that major highway in Phoenix and all that, oh my God, it gets congested so bad. From like 2 o'clock to about 7 o'clock, that highway is brutal. What the hell just happened?
I had to go and delete the spam of Love Chat XYZ, best adult dating site in the world. SPF got it for me. I just started seeing it coming. Well, first I see Ted. I read the message. I see Teddy said you need a big hub, and I thought it said something else hub. What the hell is going on here? And I started reading. I'm like, whoa! I'm trying to delete and go down.
No. Yeah, Teddy. I know. Never met Tomei. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, airfare's a bitch. I just see this comment on to it. Hotels.
Airfare's a bitch right now.
That's why I figured if you do something like centrally, it kind of cuts down. But if you could get it to where there's a bigger airport and say like the people are flying out of LA to that big airport, that's cheaper too. It's when you have to catch them other freaking commuter flights, I call them, you start paying out the yin yang. And I didn't realize this because it's been years since I flew. I'm used to be economy and first class, right? Those were your seats. Now there's like something, then economy, then business, and then first class.
Yep.
I'm like, what's the difference between them? I like sit there and read, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no difference really between these two here. Business doesn't get you like an extra 2 inches of leg room. I'm like, if I'm flying anywhere for anything over a 2-hour flight, I'm going first class. Sorry. I will pay out the extra couple $100 to be happy for that flight, especially if I flew out like Louisville and I was coming to California. I'd be first class. I wouldn't be able to deal with it. And trust me, I got spoiled years ago leaving Hawaii because the guy used to deal with Sky Miles. And because of my mileage with the military, always traveling, like they'd send us to Japan, Thailand, racked up big points.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did all these island hops, I'd transfer him over to him and he'd cut me deals on my tickets home. So he was paying like $500 for a first class trip from Hawaii to Pittsburgh. This was in the late 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cheap. So like I would say, hey, I'm going to give you some of my local Sky Miles. He'd be like, oh, I can do yours for 300 first class. 300. Like I used to send him all kind of business. Like my buddies would like trying to fly Dallas and be like, 550, 400. And a lot of times we were only getting like 350, 400 paycheck. So he was cool. If you, long as you put your first half down and then next pay period paid off, you were good. Brought him so much business doing that stuff. But I remember flying from Hawaii having first class. Oh my gosh, it was great. It was the best thing ever. I fell in love with it. I'm like, there's so much room. So much. And people just looked at you weird, different.
Like, with so much more room for activities.
I'm like, well, why pay 350 or 360 for economy when I'm flying so far? Because they literally flew me from Hawaii to St. Louis one way, like there. And then in St. Louis, I'd have to catch a flight to Pittsburgh. And I can tell you, when I'd get to Hawaii airport, I was drunk at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, get to Pittsburgh at like 8 in the morning. Oh God, St. Louis, a couple times the ladies, the stewardess, like, come with us. You need to go to the coffee shop. And it's like 6 in the morning. Like, there's something open here for coffee now. Like, what?
You big lush.
Oh, I was a huge alcoholic in Hawaii. Huge. I had issues. I am not afraid to admit it.
Well, you're on an island. There ain't that much to do.
Oh, heck yeah, there was surfing.
You want to do so much surfing.
Clubbing. Go hiking, fishing, snorkeling, swim with dolphins, build sand castles, man, or sand forts like we did the one time. What the heck, one 4-day weekend. And I was telling my mom about this up in North Shore. There was an island probably about, I don't know, maybe like a quarter mile, half mile off of the beach. It might have been shorter, but we ended up buying these big inner tubes and you put all your food and stuff in it. And one guy bought this big, enormous floaty. I remember putting a grill in there. People were bringing charcoal and stuff. Some guys would go in the mornings, get fresh food. And we just partied out there nonstop. Some guys would fish, some of us would drink. Oh, Greg, my time in Hawaii spoiled me with the clear waters. Like after that, I went to Myrtle Beach and the water looked like crap. I went to the beach over by Jacksonville, Panama City Beach. Like the waters just weren't clean. And I was like, man, I feel like a snob, but this ain't beach. This is crappy water. And look at all this crap floating around in the water. But Hawaii definitely spoiled me for 4 years. Charlotte would be cool.
Just had it in Delaware.
Why don't we just go to Maine?
Ain't nothing to do in either one.
Bangor, Maine.
All right, I'm hopping off, guys.
Yeah, all right, man. I'm okay at it too. I didn't realize it was already this time. 11:30 at night, my time. I can get early go to Lexington. All right, guys. If there's anything good at Lexington of a video, I'll put it out tomorrow. It could be a dead place. I might just have like a 2-minute video going. Look, it's dead with 8 tables.
Yeah, we sent in a lot of cards, huh?
Total for myself, him, and like 8 other people, I sent in close to 900, I think. Now, for me personally, I'm probably around 100-ish. But that's also economy when they first opened up bulk. And I know I did 3 July specials total.
Well, I probably got about 100. So
I didn't count. I think each one had around, some had 25, 30 in it. I just wanted to keep the numbers down low because I know they could swing it in. Greg, here's the funny part. I had one of the first bulk submissions out there from when they reopened the new, whatever you want to call it, thing at $30 a card. It's been in assembly for a couple days now. Don't know when it'll come out of assembly and get it, but that was like as soon as they opened it back up. I think I shipped it off like that Friday or Monday. It was like the very next day. So heads up.
We're still waiting on an order from February of last year.
Yeah, it's only been in assembly like 2-3 weeks. You're fine. I think it'll drop. I think they're going to leave the 30 the way it is, but I think they're going to fluctuate with their deals like how they did the $18 thing. So I think personally, if you could hold off on sending stuff, now you got to remember the $18 can't go over $199 or you're going to get upcharged. But I think that if you are looking for the $4.99 and under type deal and you don't need it right away, I think $30 a card's reasonable. It just kills people from sending cards in that are going to be PSA 10s worth $75 to $100. So I think they'll just have more specials than what we're used to, but I think they'll cap it. I think some specials might even hit $2.99 depending on what they do, but I expect stuff like that. At least till they see where they're at, which is smart.
What do you think about memberships? You think they're going to open a gold or a platinum at all?
I don't know. Wasn't part of my talks this week with everybody at PSA. I had to go through all kind of hell, do change of addresses while they're at the National to having an order. It's in my drop-down menu, but not in my history of orders, so I can't view anything onto it. That still has to get fixed to their tech team, internet team. So felt bad putting everybody on blast, trying to fix my problems, but I got tired after 2 days of having a phone call back. It rings and I go, hello. I didn't even get please hold for the next representative. It was just like, like they hung up. And I knew it wasn't the customer service rep. So I was like, I can't continue doing this. Finance sent emails out. The guy that does my upcharges sent emails out. I even reached out to the VP of customer service through Facebook. And he told me he would fix it for me. He was at the National. So I was like, I hate asking for favors like this, but I'm at the point to where I don't want the order going over to E-Town when I'm at home right now. So.
Hey, Dale, what's up?
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it because I know Joey wants to go. He's got to go lay back down. He got to get his rest. He's getting old.
No, I'm recovering from COVID still.
He says it's COVID, but secretly, he just has diarrhea. He really has monkeypox. I don't know.
See, I can't tell you anything.
Well, I was going to say something else, but I didn't want the chat to
be. Sure you were. I'm sure
I didn't want the chat to start having a bunch of those websites posted again, so I left it really G-rated.
Don't worry, guys. He didn't have back problem or back appointment this week. He suffered from thrush.
Could be.
Too much ATM.
At that moment. All right, everybody. We're out. Appreciate it. I got to set up the next 2 weeks at shows. I'll see about coming on. I'll let you guys know each week. If I can get everything done early on a Friday and load it up in the car, then I'll come on for a little bit in the evenings. Otherwise, with the show next week, I can say no because I got to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to drive there because of time difference. But the following week, it's just in Louisville again. So let y'all know. But I appreciate it. You guys stay safe out there. Have a good weekend. And if you're at the National, enjoy yourself. Don't play on the internet. All right. Well, later, guys.
Later.